In the 18th and 19th centuries, iron furnaces cluttered the ridge between Lebanon and Lancaster counties. This resource-rich area was a perfect location for this essential material to be mass-produced. One furnace from this era still stands proudly as a relic of American progress. This is the furnace at Cornwall in Lebanon County. 5 miles southwest of Cornwall on the Lancaster-Lebanon border stood the Colebrook Furnace. Although this furnace no longer exists, a legendary tale from here still does. According to legend, these rugged hills are home to the spirit of an ironmaster who's eternally cursed to hunt with his pack of hounds. This legend was first documented by Philadelphia poet George Henry Boker in his story The Legend of the Hounds, which was written in 1867. Boker tells the tale of a cruel ironmaster from the Colebrook Furnace dubbed the Squire. The Squire was a heavy drinker who treated his workers and hunting hounds very poorly. But one dog, Flora, was spared of the ironmaster's typical fury because she was his best hunter and extremely loyal. Flora, the leader of his pack, followed, a shadow in his track. Followed despite his kicks and blows, paused when he paused, rose when he rose. One stormy winter night, Flora even saved the ironmaster's life. After guzzling his favorite spirit, the squire ventured into the cold and passed out in the snow. Flora barked to wake him up and led him to warmth and safety. One day, a group of the squire's friends from Philadelphia visited for a day of hunting. The squire bragged about his hunting hounds and assured them that the day would be full of sport. Unfortunately, his hounds failed to live up to his expectations. The squire, enraged and embarrassed, shouted, "I'll show these town-bred gentlemen, if my dogs cannot hunt so well, on earth another hunt in hell." The squire then drove his hounds to the furnace and forced his workers to throw all of the poor dogs into the fires. Even Flora met a tragic death that day. After he came down from his maniacal high, the squire couldn't believe what he had done. For months, his dogs were haunting his every thought as the life was draining out of him. Once, twice, thrice around the room he fled, then, in the nurse's arms, fell dead. Local legend says that the spirit of the squire now spends eternity hunting in the woods with his hounds. He is known as the Eternal Hunter, or Ewige Jäger, in the Pennsylvania German dialect. In German folklore, an eternal hunter or wild hunter is a spirit that is forever cursed to hunt because of a misbehavior. As we all know, a large number of Germans settled in this region, so it makes sense that such a tale would find its way to Pennsylvania and interweave itself with Boker's poem. Who the identity of the squire is and really whether or not this story is true is up for debate. It is rumored that the surviving family members of the squire bought all available copies of the first edition of the poem and burned them. Later editions of the poem actually have this story taking place in England, and it's suspected that Boker may have done this to disguise the truth of this Lancaster-Lebanon tale. The clouds of smoke and smoldering heat that once existed in this region are now replaced by lonely woods. But people say that these woods are far from lonely, and that the sounds of dogs yelping and an ironmaster's angry commands can be heard for miles.